Over the last year or so, popular YouTube creators have been blasting us nonstop with video after video, labeling every questionable business practice or exploitative behavior as a scam. And it's doing great. Scams are working out, not necessarily for the scammers, more for the YouTubers. They're kind of exposing the scammers. But either way, scams are going gangbusters. I'm not here to tell you these videos are never entertaining or even to some extent informative, but as the number of exposing scams videos exponentially grows, I can't help but ask, is everything just a scam? So, in this video, I'm going to give you a simple 3-question test to help you tell when something is actually a scam. Hey, I'm Peter Coffin, and I was watching this video by this guy called Megalag about PayPal Honey's business model. It explains how the company manipulates affiliate programs to maximize revenue in a slightly unfair way. Everything in the video is more or less true, and now everyone hates Honey, and probably will for another week or two, and then they'll remember how much less Papa John's used to cost. The video fits into this rapidly growing genre of YouTube videos that basically takes any business thing that gives people the ick, as the cool kids say nowadays, and labels it as a scam. And the thing is, they're drama videos. They're drama videos for people who don't want to believe they like drama videos. It's essentially taking what the creator assumes the audience might consider a systemic wrong and transforms what could have been an exploration of systemic exploitation into a self-contained story of good guys versus bad guys. This approach doesn't just flatten the issue, it keeps viewers waiting for the Batman to take on the next villain. Same bat time, same bat channel. There's a problem with that, though. You see, if Honey's actions, which are legal and do obey TOS, are a scam, why isn't all business? I mean, we do live in a system where 50% of renters can't make rent. And forget buying. If you want to own a house, you gotta win one. And you won't, because the house always wins. Wink. I don't know why I winked. It's just true. They do always win. Surplus value, or what we call profit, fundamentally relies on, or arguably just is, exploitation. And to be clear, I'm not framing exploitation through a moral lens here. When I use the word exploitation, like with everything else, I do everything possible not to talk about it as a moral term, and thus I'm using definition number 1 here, the act of employing to the greatest possible advantage. Retaining surplus value from the work of others is that. I am not saying that is good or bad. However, it also should be said there are people who very much use that second definition in a paradigm that is similar to what I just outlined. And from that perspective, all businesses could and perhaps even should be considered scams. Honey Scam intercepts cookies and tracking data to claim the last click in affiliate marketing. This steals commissions from affiliates who initially linked the products, often your faves on YouTube. But I looked through the relevant sections in Amazon's affiliate program operating agreement, making me one of the 6 or 7 people who have actually done so. And at least in my understanding, this practice isn't in violation of it. And although some companies' affiliate agreements could prohibit this, I don't think that it's particularly likely that they would. You see, Honey is kind of a jerk. Imposing restrictions like this would, to at least some extent, discourage an entity like Honey from directing traffic to their sites, selling products. You see, Honey drives traffic through its price comparison tool and demonstrably penalizes sites that fail to cooperate with them, either by deprioritizing them or removing them from their listings altogether. I actually learned that directly from Megalag's video. Thank you very much. That's not the problem. The problem I have right now is how watered down the word scam has become. It gets thrown around so much on YouTube. It's used colloquially, so it can mean almost anything, from outright fraud to something that's kind of shady. And while this certainly makes for some clickable video titles, it ends up feeling like Magic Eye, where if you squint just right, you can find the scam in anything. Or a dolphin. Why does the word scam matter to me exactly? Well, understanding what exactly qualifies as a scam can save you time, money, and stress. If something is truly a scam, it might also be legally actionable. Someone could have a case to pursue damages or seek justice, stopping an ongoing wrong and helping yourself and others. On the other hand, if something is just shady or unethical, it might not actually break any laws, even if it feels wrong. And to change something that the system regards as fine, you have to change the system. Which makes endless videos about how it's an evil scam and how you should pay super large amounts of attention to it a bit of a useless distraction. When you're calling something that's not a scam, and you're directing a bunch of people's anger at it and getting them invested in the situation, when nothing happens, those people are going to get disillusioned. Not just with the situation, but with you. We should be able to see scams as something specific with clear material implications. It's not enough for it to feel unfair or annoying, and the best way to figure that out, I feel, is by creating a framework that applies these criteria simply and straightforwardly. And for that, we don't even need any green screen cyberpunk virtual production with a coffee dispensing sidekick we have pretend conversations with when we're pretending that we're at an impasse to unlock vital insights.
It's gonna be a key.
It's not gonna be a key. Wait a second. Unless there are two keys.
All we need is clear and distinct criteria, in fact. Related question, did you know that there is no specific legal definition for the word scam? It's true. So let's use Merriam-Webster. Scam means, noun, a fraudulent or deceptive act or operation, or verb, to deceive and defraud someone. So deception kind of has the same problem as scam. It's just another broad concept. It can mean a lot of different actions, from minor misrepresentations to outright lies. More importantly, it also doesn't have a specific legal definition. So the implications are general and imprecise. I think our keyword, what we should concentrate on then, is fraud. Fraud is a legal term with specific conditions and implications. Therefore, I think our scam test should determine whether something constitutes fraud. For that, we'll be using Black's Legal Dictionary, which has been around since 1891, is regularly updated, and is often cited in court opinions, legal briefs, and academic work. Fraud consists of some deceitful practice or willful device resorted to with intent to deprive another of his right or in some manner to do him an injury. As distinguished from negligence, it is always positive and intentional. So anyway, that's how I created Peter Coffin's Miracle Scam Test, TM, available for download via the link in the description. So what I did was I devised 3 simple questions to determine whether something is truly an actionable scam or just undesirable or even unfair behavior. These questions aren't arbitrary. I've grounded them in the legal concept of fraud, which we just discussed. So we're looking for deception, intent to harm, and actual harm. Each of the 3 questions in the Miracle Scam Test have 1 to 2 key considerations. These are the conditions to fulfill for the question to get a yes answer. And for a key consideration to be fulfilled, it has to have legal implications. What I mean by that is, for instance, all of the marketing out there in the world lies to some extent, but only false advertising has legal implications. If all of the considerations for a question are fulfilled, that question gets a yes. If even one consideration isn't met, that question gets a no. And one last thing before we proceed, I need to quickly acknowledge that I am neither a lawyer nor a legal expert of any kind. This test is a tool to help assess situations that might warrant legal action, but it is not legal advice. It's up to you to consult a lawyer, and only they can provide definitive legal advice or determine whether legal action is appropriate. Ass status covered. So first question. Is there evidence of a knowing misrepresentation of a material fact with legal implications? Our key considerations here, our boxes to check, are whether any intentionally made statements about the product or service are demonstrably false or deceptive, and whether crucial risks or downsides of the product or service were intentionally concealed. If we check both of those boxes, it's a yes. Let's say a company claims its product cures cancer, but they know it doesn't. So what they've done is they've put forward a claim that it cures cancer and withheld an implied risk, death, due to a belief you don't need other treatment. That would check both boxes, and we'd have a yes for that question. The second question is there intent to induce a target to act to their detriment? Our key considerations here are that the primary intent of the deception is to cause a target to take an action that results in a loss or harm. The deception also has to aim to deprive the target of money, property, or other valuable rights. So fraud isn't just about misleading, it's about manipulating someone into taking an action that benefits the deceiver while causing harm to the target. Think phishing scams. The email looks like it's from your bank, it asks for your login info, and the real goal is to steal your money from your bank because they have your info now. It's intentional and it's harmful. Without intent to cause harm, even deliberate exaggerations don't necessarily cross the line into fraud. And the third and final question is, does the deception actually or potentially cause harm to the consumer? This is the final puzzle piece, folks. Did the deception result in real harm, or would it if it was achieved? Fraud causes financial loss, identity theft, or other significant impact of some kind. For example, if someone invests in a Ponzi scheme and loses their life savings, that's clear harm caused by fraud. On the other hand, if a company advertises their product as life-changing and it's simply disappointing, that's frustrating and maybe even a little scummy, but it's not necessarily harmful in the legal sense. The next thing you gotta know before moving on is how to interpret the results. So if there's 0 yes answers, that means it's normal business practices. If there's 1 answer, it suggests shady behavior, like ethically questionable, but not necessarily fraud. 2 yes answers indicate unethical behavior, which may violate ethical standards, but isn't necessarily illegal. And finally, 3 yeses means probable fraud, with deception, intent to harm, and actional harm, probably legally actionable. But talk to a lawyer, they know better. So now that we've outlined and understand the miracle scam test, let's use it. This whole honey thing has gotten absolutely massive. The original video has over 10 million views, and every YouTuber you know has made a video about it. So, is honey really a scam, or is it just playing the affiliate marketing game better than others? Let's go question by question. First question, is there evidence of a knowing misrepresentation of a material fact with legal implications? Key consideration 1. Are any statements the alleged offender intentionally made demonstrably false or deceptive? In my judgment, yes. Honey claims to find the best deals and every working coupon code, but knowingly withholds better coupon codes based on agreements with partner businesses. This is deceptive because it creates a false impression of delivering the absolute best savings. That's potentially false advertising, which isn't a scam in of itself, but it does have legal implications. Our second key consideration is if there's crucial risks or downsides of the product or service being intentionally concealed, which, no. Honey doesn't disclose its business partnerships to customers, but it's also not legally obligated to do that. Partnerships and business deals are standard practices and don't inherently require disclosure unless specific laws or agreements mandate transparency, which is not the case here. So only one of the 2 key considerations is fulfilled, so my verdict for question 1 is no. While Honey's practices are deceptive, they lack legal implications and therefore don't meet our established threshold, which, that's got implications for the results. Second question, is there intent to induce a target to act to their detriment? Key consideration 1. Is the primary intent of the deception to cause the target to take an action that results in loss or harm with potential legal implications? Well, no. Honey intends to secure affiliate commissions, a competitive but standard practice in the industry. While affiliates do lose commissions, there's no intent to induce legal harm. Second key consideration, does the deception aim to deprive the target of money, property, or other valuable rights? In the literal sense, yes, but in the legal sense, not really. Honey redirects commissions through a strategy that's accepted within the affiliate marketing framework. Honey and influencers both enter into a contract with the affiliate program to seek commissions on a last click basis. This redirection does not deprive affiliates of legally protected rights per current precedent. So the verdict for question 2 is also no. While yes, it is harmful to affiliates, Honey's actions aren't legally actionable here and are agreed to by all parties contracted under the affiliate marketing programs. Third and final question, does the deception actually or potentially cause harm to the target? There's only one key consideration for this one, which is does the deception lead to financial loss, identity theft, or other harm to the target, or would if achieved? Which, again, literally yes, but legally no. While affiliates and influencers do lose commissions, it's not legally actionable harm as it ultimately falls under the purview of market competition. Such outcomes are an expected risk, and they're not unique to this situation either. Honey does innovate in a way many consider questionable, but it doesn't fundamentally alter the last click paradigm that all the parties agreed to and is legal. So, our verdict for question 3, it's also no. The financial harm caused to affiliates is an established risk of operating in a market. And while an argument can and should be made about the market as an irrational mechanism for distributing resources and rewards, this harm doesn't meet the threshold for legal actionability under the current system. So our final verdict is that Honey is operating within what we would call normal business practices. While its behavior may feel unfair to affiliates and influencers, it operates within the accepted norms of affiliate marketing's last click model and market dynamics writ large. There is no evidence of fraud or legal actionability, so labeling Honey's practices as a scam is incorrect. If Honey's actions bother you, a more substantial critique one could make would focus on affiliate marketing programs that incentivize this behavior rather than Honey itself. Like, the affiliate marketing programs aren't just like a neutral platform. They reflect how markets prioritize competition and profit over fairness and collaboration. The massive outrage over what My Miracle Scam Test has deemed normal business practices should indicate that our system isn't working for the everyday person, but rather for big business owners, the real rulers in today's world. Honey isn't an anomaly. It's a predictable outcome of a system that rewards those who exploit its rules most effectively. We have to question the structures and systems that enable and encourage these tactics. In fact, I seem to remember hearing that somewhere recently.
Now look, I know seeing this is all very depressing, but we've actually learned some really valuable things. Firstly, we can't fix this at the individual level of influencers, esports teams, or even casinos. Doxing people, harassing them doesn't fix it or the underlying problems.
Go on.
It's a deep systemic problem of incentives.
Uh,
Of course, acknowledging that also doesn't absolve individuals.
Well, the emotion really came out there when you mentioned individuals, didn't it? No. Let him cook. Let him cook.
I wouldn't dare say it's okay for Juicy to do what he does, where people have been scammed. That said, if he stopped, It wouldn't change things suddenly. Someone would take his place.
Back on track, Bean Boy. Hell yeah.
So if we're serious about trying to solve this problem, we have to look farther up the food chain than influencers, even than casinos, even than esports leagues. We have to zoom out and see the root cause.
Valve? Shit, he doesn't know what system means.
Valve definitely does have an underage gambling problem.
Oh, obviously, it can't be laws or systems. No, it's literally a single entity, Valve, because it has to be. Otherwise, I couldn't keep making videos about single entities doing something that people don't like, which of course there are endless examples of. A well that will never run dry. Oh, don't get super upset here. CoffeeZilla's got a crazy fan base with a subreddit, just like HBomberGuy does, and it's only going to get anger lobbed at you. That's all it's going to do, Peter. So anyways, if you want to use the scam test for yourself, print it out or whatever, there's a link in the description for it, or just go to petercoffin.com and click resources. What are you going to use it for? Do you have something you suspect is legally actionable that's affecting you and you might need a little bit of reinforcement? Or did you just want to check one of those scam videos to see if they're exaggerating? Let me know in the comments, and not just for engagement, but yeah, for engagement. But I'm actually just legitimately interested because I'm going to be trying to give my videos some aspect of utility. This scam test is the first experiment of that. I just want to see if anybody finds it useful. And that's all I have for you. But what do you have for me? There's buttons down here. Lick them. Slurp all over them. Become a subscriber. And do not forget to money me at patreon.com/PeterCoffin. If you want to watch some documentaries I made, they're up there. Go ahead, click that. I think that you'll like them. They're all about the length of a rom-com. Some of them are a little longer, but most of them are rom-com length. If you want more videos like this one, right here, click that area. That'll take you to more videos like this. Either way, I thank you a ton for spending this time with me. I hope you find the scam test useful, and I hope you have a good week. Bye-bye.